Hello guys, welcome to Dr. Science. So today we are going to learn the differences between phospholipid, sphingophosfolipid, sphingolipids versus sphingomyelin, and what is glycolipid versus glycosphingolipids. I know this is a little bit confusing because in my second year I was confused about these structures and their names, but I will try to make it as easy as possible in this video. And as you can see here, this is the diagram that is taken from your biochemistry textbook. Which is quite confusing, but don't worry, I will make it simple. And this is taken from your chapter 21, which is your lipids of physiological significance. You can read this chapter there if you don't understand anything. Okay, so first we will draw the structure of phospholipid. So please keep the heading structure of phospholipid. So whenever we are talking about phospholipids, as the name suggests, it should contain mainly two things. One is your phosphate and other one is your lipid, right? So we are going to draw the structure based on it. So here is your phosphate, and what is this phosphate called as? The phosphate, this is not a phosphate, this is called as your phosphoric acid. And it should contain a lipid also, right? So we are going to draw a lipid here. This is the lipid, and usually the lipid are your fatty acids. So many of the people think that whenever we hear the term phospholipid, it should contain a phosphate and a lipid, but this thing is completely wrong, because instead of containing a phosphate and a lipid, it also contains a alcohol attached to the fatty acid. So as you can see here, there is an alcohol attached to the fatty acids. Okay, so phospholipids usually contains mainly three things. One is your phosphoric acid, second one is your lipid, which is your fatty acids, and the third and the most important one is your alcohol. Now most of the time this alcohol which is present here, most of the time the alcohol here is your glycerol. Okay, so as you can see here, the alcohol is glycerol. Hence phospholipids are also called as your let's clear this. They are also called as your glycerophospholipids. So this is the structure of your phospholipids. So once again, phospholipids are also called as glycerophospholipids, where glycerol is your alcohol and phosphate is your phosphoric acid and lipid is your fatty acids. And what are the common examples of this glycerophospholipids? The common examples are your phosphatidyl choline, phosphatidyl ethanolamine, and finally we have the phosphatidyl serine. Now we have to draw the structures of these glycerophospholipids. So once again, we are going to draw the structure of your first we will draw the structure of the lipid, so it will be easy for us. Okay, so here once again, here is your phosphoric acid. To this phosphoric acid we have our lipid, which are your fatty acids, and to these fatty acids we have alcohol present. Most of the time this alcohol is your glycerol, and this entire structure is your glycerophospholipid. To this glycerophospholipid, if we are going to add a choline, let's draw choline here. If we are going to add choline to the phosphoric acid, then this entire structure here is called as your phosphatidylcholine. So phosphatidylcholine is a type of glycerophospholipid. Okay, now we are going to draw another structure or to this phosphoric acid. If we are going to add ethanolamine, okay, if we are going to add ethanolamine to this phosphoric acid, then the entire compound will be called as your phosphatidyl ethanolamine. Okay, and to this same phosphoric acid, if we are going to add serine, then the entire compound is called as your phosphatidyl serine. Okay, I hope you are clear with this. I just completed everything here itself because I cannot draw each and every structure separately. That will take a long time. So to this phosphoric acid you can add choline, or we can add ethanolamine, or we can add serine, and the respective glycerophospholipid synthesis will occur. Okay, if you are clear with the glycerophospholipids, the next thing we are going to see is the structure of Sphingophospholipids. Now we have to compare the phospholipids and the sphingophospholipids in order to understand this. So I am going to draw the structure of a phospholipid here. As I already told you, there was phosphoric acid, and to this phosphoric acid there were fatty acids, or the lipid component, which are your fatty acids, and to this fatty acids there was alcohol such as your glycerol. So this entire compound is called as your phospholipids. Now we have to compare the phospholipids to the sphingophospholipids. So I am going to draw the structure of a sphingophosfolipid. As the name suggests, it should have a phosphoric acid, and similarly it should have a lipid such as your fatty acids. Okay, so here is the structure of a sphingophospholipid. So here is your phosphoric acid, and to this phosphoric acid our lipids are present such as your fatty acids. Now the main thing here is that, as you can see here, the alcohol which is present in your phospholipid was glycerol, but in sphingophospholipid the alcohol which is attached to the fatty acids are your sphingosine. Sphingosine is a type of alcohol. Okay, hence they are called as your sphingophospholipid. Okay, so as the name suggests, in the structure of a sphingophospholipid, the sphingosine is a type of alcohol that is present in the phospholipids. Okay, so that is the main structure that is different from phospholipids. In phospholipids the alcohol was your glycerol, whereas in sphingophospholipids the alcohol was your sphingosine. Okay, I hope you are clear with these terms. Next we are going to talk about, I will take another page here. Next we are going to see the structure of your sphingolipids. As the name suggests here, sphingolipids, what is lacking here? Here there is lacking of your phosphate or phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid is not present. Sphingosine is an alcohol, right? and lipids are your fatty acids. So where is the phosphoric acid? If there is phosphoric acid, we should call them as sphingolipids, but here we are calling them as sphingolipids because there is no phosphoric acid present here. I know you are a little bit confused here because where is this phosphoric acid going? Don't worry, I will explain. There is no phosphoric acid present here. So once again I am going to draw the structure here. So what was this? This was phosphoric acid. To this phosphoric acid there was two chains of lipids such as your fatty acids, and to this fatty acid there was alcohol such as your sphingosine. Now as I already told you, in sphingolipids there is no phosphoric acid. So what is happening to this phosphoric acid? This phosphoric acid will get esterified, and this phosphoric acid, when it will get esterified, there will be formation of your sphingosine. Okay, so in sphingolipids, what will happen? The phosphoric acid will get esterified, and due to this esterification, instead of having two chains of fatty acid, there will be only one chain of fatty acid. As you can see here, there is only one chain of fatty acid, and one of the chain is your sphingosine chain. Okay, once again, in sphingolipids, usually the phosphoric acid will eventually get esterified, and this esterified phosphoric acid will form a sphingosine chain. And aside from that, it will have a fatty acid. Okay, I hope you are clear with this term. This is your sphingolipid. There is no phosphate present, or the phosphoric acid is getting esterified into a sphingosine, which is your alcohol. Okay, so that is the main thing that is present. That is your sphingomyelin. Okay, sphingolipid. And what is meant by sphingomyelin? What is this sphingomyelin? Sphingomyelin is a type of sphingolipid. So I'm going to draw the structure of sphingolipid, but here the structure is a little bit different, so please concentrate here, or else you will not understand anything. So as I already told you, we have the phosphoric acid, but in sphingolipid the phosphoric acid was getting esterified, due to which there is formation of sphingosine. Okay, the sphingosine tail is formed, and aside from that, there is one fatty acid chain. So in sphingomyelin, to this phosphoric acid which is esterified, there is choline attached to it. Now when there is choline attached to this esterified phosphoric acid, this entire compound is called as your sphingomyelin. Okay, so once again, sphingomyelin is an example of your sphingolipid. Example of a sphingolipid is your sphingomyelin. myelin. Okay, I hope you are clear with these terms. If you are confused, just watch this video one more time, then you will understand it completely. Next we are going to talk about the final one, which is your glycolipids. Now in order to understand this, I am going to draw we have to compare it with your phospholipids. Okay, since we are talking about glycolipids, I will also talk about your Sphingolipids. Okay, so we are going to compare three structures here. We are going to compare glycosphingolipids, we are going to compare the structure of glycolipids, and we are going to compare the structure of your sphingolipids. Okay, so first I will draw the structure of your phospholipids, so it will be very clear, crystal clear to you guys. So phospholipid will contain a phosphoric acid, two chains of lipids such as your fatty acids, and what is the alcohol present on it? The alcohol present on it is your glycerol. This is the structure of your phospholipids. Next we are going to see glycolipids. As the name suggests, glyco means a carbohydrate, and lipid means your fatty acids. So in glycolipids, what is not there? There is no alcohol. Okay, so I will draw the structure here. Here the phosphoric acid, which is, as you can see here, this is the phosphoric acid which is present in your phospholipids. But in glycolipids, the phosphoric acid is replaced by a carbohydrate, and this carbohydrate can be anything such as your glucose or galactose. Okay, and to this carbohydrate there are lipids such as your fatty acids, and this entire thing is called as your glyco, which is your carbohydrate, and lipid, which are your fatty acids. So that was the structure of a glycolipid. Next we are going to talk about the glycosphingolipids. We are going to see the structure of glycosphingolipids. As the name suggests, I will draw this clearly here so you guys will understand. Glycosphingolipids. As you guys already know, glyco means carbohydrate. It means the phosphoric acid is replaced by carbohydrate such as your glucose or galactose. And what is sphingosine? Sphingosine is an alcohol. And finally we have the lipids such as your fatty acids. So we are going to draw the structure here. It doesn't contain phosphoric acid, it contains carbohydrate. What is the carbohydrate here? It is your glucose or galactose. So this is the carbohydrate. To this carbohydrate we have two chains of fatty acids, and to this fatty acid we have alcohol such as your sphingosine. Now this glycosphingolipids, as you can see here, this glycosphingolipids will contain the upper portion. As you can see here, the sphingosine and together with fatty acids, I will draw this clearly here so it will be crystal clear to you guys. So this was the carbohydrate, and these were the fatty acids together with the alcohol such as your sphingosine. So the most important thing here is this one. The fatty acid together with sphingosine is called as your ceramide. Okay, this one is very important. And the carbohydrate can be glucose or galactose. So based on this, sphingosine and fatty acids are called as your ceramide, and the carbohydrate component can be glucose or galactose. So based on this, there is classification of glycophospholipids. So how these things are classified? So usually the glycosphingolipids are classified into mainly two types. One is your glucosyl ceramide, and the other one is your galactosyl ceramide. So we have to draw the structure of these things, then it will be clear for us. Okay, so first I am going to draw the structure of glucosyl ceramide. As I already told you, glycosphingolipids contain of carbohydrate, and this carbohydrate is glucose. Hence it is termed as glucose ceramide. So here we have the fatty acid chains, and to this fatty acid chain we have alcohol such as your sphingosine. Now this entire thing is called as your ceramide. And what is the carbohydrate present? It is your glucose. Hence the name glucosyl ceramide. Okay. Next we are going to see the structure of galactosyl ceramide. Again we have the carbohydrate, and the carbohydrate that is present here is your galactose. And to this carbohydrate we have fatty acids, and to this fatty acid we have alcohol such as your sphingosine. This entire component which is fatty acid plus sphingosine is called as your ceramide. So this entire thing is called as your galactosyl ceramide. So I talked about the different types. Now I will give a small summary for you, because most of the people are confused, I know that one, but please watch the video again and again, then you will understand. So first I will talk about phospholipids. Phospholipids were containing of phosphoric acid, a lipid component which are your fatty acids, and finally we have alcohol such as your glycerol. Okay, hence they are called as your glycerophospholipids. And examples of glycerophospholipids include your phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylethanolamine, and phosphatidylserine. So that was about phospholipids. Next we will talk about your Sphingophospholipid. So what is Sphingo? Sphingo is an alcohol, phosphoric acid, and fatty acid. The third one is your Sphingolipids. As the name suggests, in Sphingolipids the phosphoric acid is esterified into sphingosine. Okay, I know you guys are little bit confused between sphingophospholipid, so I'm going to draw the structure of sphingophospholipid. So this is phosphoric acid, these were the lipids, and to this there was sphingosine alcohol. In sphingolipids there is no phosphoric acid. As I already told you, here the phosphoric acid is esterified and there is formation of sphingosine, and there is only one chain of fatty acid. And to this sphingolipid, if we are going to add choline, then we will have sphingomyelin. I'm going to draw the structure of sphingomyelin here, or I can simply add the choline here to this esterified phosphoric acid. Then this entire compound is called as your sphingomyelin. And finally we have your glycolipids versus glycophospholipids. In glycolipids we have a carbohydrate. And to this carbohydrate there are lipids, which are your fatty acids. Hence they are called as your glycolipids. But in the case of glycophospholipids, it have a carbohydrate, it have lipids, and to this this one is glycosphingolipids. So here we have the lipid component, which is your fatty acids, and to this fatty acids we have your sphingosine. And examples of your glycosphingolipids include glucosylceramide and galactosylceramide. Okay, so I hope you are clear with this. I know there is a lot of confusion going on, but please watch this video once again and you will be crystal clear with this concept. Okay, before ending the topic, I want to show this one here. So here is a sphingomyelin. What is a sphingomyelin? Sphingomyelin is a type of sphingolipid. It means the phosphate is going to get esterified into a sphingosine molecule. So as you can see here, this is the phosphoric acid, and to this phosphoric acid I will draw this here so you guys will understand. So this was the phosphoric acid, and this phosphoric acid will eventually get esterified and it will form a sphingosine. And not only that, it will have one chain of fatty acid. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the phosphoric acid. This phosphoric acid will eventually get esterified and it will get a sphingosine tail, and to not only that, it will have one tail of fatty acid. So as I already told you, sphingosine and fatty acid, they are combinedly called as your ceramide. As you can see here, sphingosine plus the fatty acid is called as your ceramide. Now as you can see here, this is phosphatidylcholine. Phosphatidylcholine is a type of phospholipid. So phospholipid, what is the structure? It should contain a phosphoric acid or phosphate, and it should have two tails of fatty acid. So here is first tail of fatty acid, here is the second tail of fatty acid. So this is the phosphoric acid, two tails of fatty acids, and what it should contain? It should contain glycerol as alcohol, and to the fatty acid or the phosphoric acid it should contain a choline chain. The entire component is called as your phosphatidyl-choline. So as you can see here, there is one fatty acid chain, second fatty acid chain, which are attached to the phosphate, and to this to the fatty acids there is glycerol attached. Okay, I hope you are clear with this. Next, finally, this is the structure of a sphingomyelin, where the phosphate will get esterified into a sphingosine tail and a fatty acid tail, and to this if we attach a choline, it is called as your sphingomyelin. So that was about the differences between the phospholipids and the glycolipids and sphingolipids. Okay guys, thank you.